Somewhere in the middle of the Pacific Ocean, 2,000 miles from the nearest scrap of land, a guy in a wooden canoe closed his eyes. He wasn't sleeping. He was navigating. No compass, no map, no GPS satellite beaming down coordinates from space, just his own body, literally feeling the ocean through the wood of the boat. And somehow, using nothing but that, these ancient sailors crossed more open ocean than any explorer in history. We're talking about the Polynesians, and what they pulled off shouldn't have been possible. Let's set the scene. This is thousands of years before Columbus. Europeans are hugging the coastline, too scared to lose sight of land. Meanwhile, Polynesian explorers are casually sailing into the biggest, emptiest ocean on Earth. On purpose. No islands to aim for that they could actually see, just open water in every direction. So how do you not die out there? Here's twist number one. These guys basically had a superpower. They could read the ocean like a book. Waves don't just randomly slosh around. When they hit an island, they bounce back and create a pattern. Navigators could feel that bounced pattern through the hull, sometimes lying flat on their stomachs to sense it better. That's how they knew land was near, sometimes over 100 miles before they could actually see it. They basically had Wi-Fi. Except the Wi-Fi was the entire ocean. Twist 2. They used birds like a built-in compass app. Certain seabirds don't sleep out at sea. They fly home to land every single night. So if navigators spotted one of these birds late in the day, they'd just follow it home. Free direction, no charge. Nature's version of a maps app. They could even tell different bird species apart by how they flew, which told them roughly how far from land they still were. Things are about to get weirder, because these navigators also used water temperature with their bare skin. Ocean currents carry heat differently, depending on where they're coming from. A slight shift in water temperature could tell a navigator they'd drifted off course, long before any landmark showed up. Some navigators were said to be able to tell currents apart just by dipping a hand in and thinking for a second. That's not folklore exaggeration either. Modern sailors who trained under these traditions have proven it works. Now here's the twist that should really mess with your head. They also used the stars, but not the way you're picturing. They memorized something called a star compass, basically where specific stars rise and set on the horizon. As one star rose too high in the sky to be useful, they'd switch to tracking the next one rising behind it. It was basically a live running star relay race, passed from one guide star to the next, all night long. Miss one, and you don't just get lost. You could drift for weeks with no idea which direction is which. So navigators trained for years, sometimes decades, before they were ever trusted to guide a real voyage. Kids would start memorizing star paths and wave patterns before they were even teenagers. No books, no notes. It all lived in their memory, passed down voice to voice. Here's the part that really should blow your mind. All of this let them find islands smaller than a parking lot, in an ocean bigger than every continent on Earth combined. And they weren't just getting lucky once. They did this again and again, across thousands of miles, for generations. They settled Hawaii. They settled Tahiti. They settled New Zealand. They settled Easter Island. Some of the loneliest, tiniest specks of land on the planet, found on purpose, without a single piece of modern equipment. For a long time, some historians actually doubted this was even possible. They assumed islands were settled by accident, canoes blown off course by storms. Then, in the 1970s, a crew built a traditional voyaging canoe called the Hokulea and sailed it from Hawaii to Tahiti, using only these ancient methods. No instruments, no modern navigation, just wave patterns, birds, and stars. They made it, proving what critics thought was impossible. The ocean was never really empty to these navigators. It was a map. They just had to learn how to read it with their whole body. That's the story of how a group of ancient explorers crossed the largest ocean on Earth with nothing but instinct, memory, and raw human skill. Subscribe to the Curious Files for more untold human stories.